Hey yo, what is up everybody? It's B Militant. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins review. You guys, today we're going over the Washington football team versus the Falcons. Fourth game of the season. Both teams are 1-2. Both teams needed to win. Now, granted, I need to explain to you, I only saw the first half of the game. Today I went to the movies to see this movie. In theaters. If you know this movie, shout out to you. Hell yeah, it's a good movie. But I knew in advance I was going to miss the second half of this game. And I was hoping that we were going to smoke them and I could leave at halftime to go see this movie without any worries and be like, okay, we're in control of this game. And sure enough, no, I watched the first half. The defense looked very bad. Offense started a little bit slow. We were losing at halftime when I had to leave to go see this movie. I was not feeling good about the game. I just wasn't. The defense were just had me so worried. And while I'm in the movie theater, I wanted, I don't want to be like sitting there looking at my phone all the time. So I was courteous to other people around me, and I picked up my phone one time during the middle of the movie. And I turned it on and I looked at ESPN and I saw that we were losing 28-30 and we had the ball and we had 1:47 left. And I just smiled. I smiled at my phone, turned it off, put it back in my pocket, and I enjoyed the rest of the movie. Why? Why did I do that? Why did I look at the time and we were losing? Why did I look at my phone and smile? Because I knew we were going to win. Why? Why did I know we were going to win? That's why. That's why I smiled at my phone and put it back in my pocket and said, it's a done deal. I knew it was a dub. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it. We got a quarterback that scores points. And if you look at how the NFL is going today, I much prefer the old style of NFL when I grew up watching football with my dad, where it used to be the toughest team that showed up that day won the game and you could hit people. You know what I mean? It was a much more of like a running game. I prefer that. I just have fond memories of watching football back in the day. But we have to be honest with ourselves. I understand that defense wins championships. Yeah, it does. But look at today's NFL. Look at the Chiefs and what they've been able to do. Without their defense hasn't ever been all that great. But they are offensive juggernaut. They score points. The NFL's rules today favor offensive play. Penalties will be on the defense all the time if they hit somebody or even just look at somebody wrong. So I got to sit there and look at my phone and smile like, we're down right now, but it's a done deal. We got 1:47 left. We had the ball. Done deal. Done deal. We got ourselves a quarterback. We can score points. We're not looking at Alex Smith scoring 16 points a game. We're not. And I fucking said it. I told you, this guy's legit. Heinicke is legit. Now, let me continue on through the game. Like I said, I only saw the first half, which there's not a whole lot of positives in the first half. Obviously Taylor McLaurin had a great day. Let's see who else. Ricky Seals-Jones had the one catch that was really good for us. Terry McLaurin had a really good day, obviously. Taylor Heinicke and Terry McLaurin just have, they're out of anyone on the team, those are two guys who have the synergy. They know what they want to do. They know where they're going to be. They're the guys who are connected the most. But DeAndre Carter, I want to see more DeAndre Carter. I mean as in like a receiver. The guy, I think he only had one catch today, but it was one catch for 19 yards at the very near the end of the game when we're trying to come back and win. But I just watched the replays or the highlights when I got back. So, like I said, when I'm talking about the second half of the game, I didn't watch it live. I'm only going off of the highlights that I seen, but DeAndre Carter. Sorry, he had a catch. Or hold on, sorry, I got this mixed up. DeAndre Carter had one catch for 24 yards. That's the one I'm talking about, over the middle. But when he caught the ball and his speed and his shiftiness, I want to see more. You put that kid out there more. And he had the kickoff return. I can't remember how like they said, Steven Sims Jr. had a kickoff return. I don't even know how long ago that was. But they've been trying to do something on kickoffs. And I've been saying, it's been hurting us. Teams have been pinning us back because they know we're not going to run back for a touchdown. So they've been kicking the ball to us just for us to come out and take the ball out of the end zone, and then us get a holding penalty, and then we start even further back and get and that's the story of this season so far. Taylor Heinicke putting the team on his back, and the defense not helping anybody out. It reminds me of Kirk Cousins back in the day when Kirk Cousins didn't have a run game, didn't have a defense. He had to do it all himself. That's what Taylor Heinicke reminds me of right now. Now, of course, we have Terry McLaurin, who's putting in hella work. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying throughout this season so far, I've been sitting here saying, we keep not helping out our quarterback. And yes, I think Taylor Heinicke is the man, but still, he's still a younger guy who doesn't have that many starts. When you're a coach or whatever, you want to help that person out. You want to help, big time players make big time plays in big games or whatever. That's the saying. I feel like Taylor Heinicke, he will always step up to the plate. So I think we got ourselves something there. But if you have to ask me if I'm going to give a game ball out to anybody, you got to give it to J.D. McKissic for that game-sealing touchdown. That was a hell of a effort. And like I said, obviously, I'm a huge Taylor Heinicke fan, of course. Give out game balls to him. Give one out to Terry McLaurin. Maybe give one to DeAndre Carter for the kickoff return. But my game ball would go to J.D. McKissic for putting the stamp on the game. That play of him changing direction and getting that touchdown and putting his body on the line there. Also, I just watched the highlights, and like I said, and on the second half of the game is what I needed to see because I saw the first half. And going back to this is why I've sat up here and said Taylor Heinicke is the guy, and why I've been repping him so hard, because his knock in the past was injuries. In this game, I've seen on the highlights in the second half, Taylor Heinicke ran the ball to the right-hand side, and he was running the ball, and he was thinking about diving for that pylon, and he could have tried. But guess what? What's the knock on him? His injuries. He needs to stay safe. He needs to play smart. He didn't go for that dive. He did not put himself in harm's way because there was a defender there, and he stumbled and thought about it, and he ran out of bounds. That's the difference. That's a difference. That's why I'm standing up for this guy. Because he's smart. He's realizing he's getting it. He's getting it. He realizes he needs to stay on the field. The game was still in reach. You don't have to do that every time. You don't have to be the star. You don't have to go out there. It just bit him in the ass last week, right, when he threw 2 interceptions. One of them was into triple coverage. He was trying to make a play when nobody else on the team was. The defense wasn't. The defense still isn't making plays. Montez Sweat, that's my guy on defense. He's the only guy. I don't know if anyone else had a sack, but in the first half, I watched it in the first half, he had a sack. I don't know about the second half. I didn't see that. But like I said, the defense isn't stepping up. And talking about the defense, I am so tired of watching just the other team's receivers run down the middle of the field. They're running, and our linebackers are just standing still in the middle of the field, and they're like going to play reactionary off of what the quarterback does with the ball. But they never jump a route. They never get to the ball. They never have a contested catch. It's whenever someone's running over the middle of the field, you see the quarterback throw the ball to him, and then you see 2 guys come collapse and try to get the tackle. No one is making plays. No one's being like, okay, I'm going to take a chance, and I think he's going to go to this guy and make a play or break up a pass. No, we are giving up yards and yards and yards over the first downs, over the middle. Like I said, just how iconic is it for this season? Have you just seen passes over the middle, and then you see linebackers react and try to go get a tackle? Why aren't you reacting? Why aren't you being smart enough to put the time into the game film and stuff like that and know what and predict things? Is that because Del Rio's telling you not to? Regardless, whoever it is, whatever is happening, it can't happen. We've watched too much. This is too bad. This is ridiculous. Nobody's making plays on defense, and we're just sitting there in soft zone, letting people pass the ball over and over, just over the middle, just over the middle, just over and over. It's hard to watch. Now, coming into this game, I was really worried about Cordero Patterson, and he did his thing, and also obviously Kyle Pitts, because we suck at covering tight ends, and of course both those guys had a pretty good day. So I was expecting that, and even though as much as I want to talk shit about the defense, we do have to give them credit for one thing, and that's at the very end of the game. They got to stop. They got to stop with about 2 minutes left to give us a chance to come back and win the game. So, like I said, as much as I want to sit here and just hound on the defense, which they deserve it, they did get the stop at the end of the game. Now, I was just at the store, and somebody saw I had my hat on, and they were like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Talking about the Redskins. He's like, "Man, that defense has me worried." And I'm like, "Yeah, me too, man. But I'm just glad because we have Taylor Heinicke now, and we can score points." And that's where I was going with that earlier. Where I was talking about the new NFL. The new NFL is about scoring points and high-powered offenses. With Taylor Heinicke at quarterback, we're scoring points, and that's why I wasn't worried when I looked at my phone earlier. I just wasn't worried. I knew it was a done deal because that's what we do. We score points. So, like I said, Ricky Seals-Jones had a really good catch. Adam Humphries, still, I'm just not super impressed with. I think you take Adam Humphries out and put DeAndre Carter in there. We're not in the business of messing around and finding out. We're in the business of we need to do something, and especially on defense. Give me DeShazer Everett. Do something different. Do something different. Like whatever it is you're doing ain't working. It ain't working. Give me DeShazer Everett out there or something like that. Do something different. And if DeShazer Everett gets torched and he looks bad or whatever, at least he did something different. At least he tried. But right now, it ain't working. Whatever you're doing ain't working. I don't like it. I don't, like I said, I'm not a coach. I don't know what to do. But what I do know is what you're doing ain't working. So do something different. And at least I'll appreciate that. If you put in, if you put in someone who's hungry, who knows? Maybe they play really well. But we will never know. We'll never know if you don't do something different. And what you're doing right now, hell, for sure ain't working. This defense, the points and yardages, the points and yards that they're putting up, we have to be at the either dead last or second in the league, like in the bad category. This is rough. This is bad. The defense is real bad, and I just don't know what's going on. In the first half that I watched, Matt Ryan, a guy which credit to him, by the way, he had a pretty damn good game. 283 yards, 4 touchdowns. Matt Ryan, he can't move right. And you saw the video this week of, I forget who the defensive lineman was or whoever was on ESPN or whatever, and he broke down that the Washington football team defensive line is they're not doing their jobs. They're trying to do too much, and they're disciplined is what I'm trying to say. They're trying to do too much, and you know how he showed the play where both Montez Sweat and Chase Young go wide and try to get the quarterback because they're so sack hungry that if they just stayed in their lane, the quarterback wouldn't have somewhere to step up to and run or whatever. And then on that play, I think it was Josh Allen stepped out to the right and ran and threw the ball. I don't know what happened, but basically a touchdown or something like that. The same thing happened in this game in the first half. Matt Ryan, a guy who cannot run. He cannot move. He cannot run. The same thing. He got to step up in the pocket and throw the ball down the field to, I think it was Cordero Patterson no, actually it was Kyle Pitts. It was actually a really contested catch on the sideline on the right-hand side of the field. But, I mean, it was a hell of a throw and catch. But regardless, we're just, I don't know what they're doing on defense, man. But Matt Ryan cannot run. So why are you're giving even that guy a chance to step up in the pocket? Like, collapse the pocket. Why are you going 10 yards downfield to try to come up behind him? He's going to get rid of the ball. He's a good quarterback. Like, whatever they're doing, I just clueless. I'm clueless. I don't know what to say, man. But, like I said, the one positive, who would have thought this was coming? Our offense is the strength of our team all of a sudden, and that's pretty much because of Taylor Heinicke. Obviously, Terry McLaurin is a star. Don't even need to point that out. But also, so this is Curtis Samuel's first game back in action. I thought he played pretty well from what I could see. 4 catches, 19 yards. From what I saw from him, it was okay. Whatever. Need to see more. Can't say anything bad. Antonio Gibson had 14 carries for 63 yards, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 14 carries, 63 yards. Other people had carries as well. I would like to see more carries for J.D. McKissick, but regardless, we had 28 carries in the game. I'm okay with that number. We're obviously more of a pass-happy team, so if we're around 30 carries a game and we also have 300 yards passing, I'm completely fine with that. But if we end the game and we have like 15 carries in a game, no, and like I said, we are more of a pass-happy team, and you can tell that they just want to pass the ball all the time, but we need to stay balanced somewhat. And like I said, ending the game with 28 carries, I'm okay with that. That's a decent number for me, as long as the passing is working. So, man, I don't really know what else to say. Like I said, I have to go back and watch the entire game, which I will do. The second half, because I didn't watch every play of the second half, but I will go back and watch that tonight. But the legend continues. It does. And like I said, when I first bought that shirt, I just loved the play. I like the picture and I like the play, but it's saying legend on the top of it. It just kind of I was borderline not even wanting to buy it just because of what it says. Because I was like, if Taylor Heinicke came in and beat the Buccaneers, then we're talking legend. But like I said in one of my last videos, what I didn't realize is that was just the beginning of the legend of Taylor Heinicke. And I'll end this with this, is that the Giants somehow beat the Saints this week. So why can't we? Why can't we go 3-2 before we get a little bit rougher schedule? I think it's doable. And like we were saying before this game, the whole video that this team made for Ron Rivera, and it was more kind of an emotional game. We needed the game, and the team was emotional from the video and stuff that they made for Ron Rivera. The defense should still be ashamed of themselves, man. But Taylor Heinicke knows what to do with the ball. He is a leader. The way that he carries himself, I love it. Even on like the touchdown to Terry McLaurin, where he's just like yes or whatever. Everything about the guy I like. And I was on Facebook, and there was a guy who on like the Redskins Facebook page or whatever. There's a video of the play where Taylor Heinicke throws the ball up to Terry McLaurin in the end zone, and there's like one guy who commented on there, was like, why is everybody like talking about Taylor Heinicke when this play was made by Terry McLaurin actually going up and getting the ball or whatever? It's like of course we recognize that Terry McLaurin helps make the play, but Taylor Heinicke is the guy who escaped somehow and found a way to get the ball up. And sure, he's throwing a prayer up there, but guess what's the difference between Taylor Heinicke and some of the guys we've had recently in the past? Taylor Heinicke will take chances. And yes, sometimes that'll come back and bite you, but the kid's good. The kid's good. And guess what? I would rather take the chances. Our defense is not, we cannot rely on them. So I'm willing to ride or die with Taylor Heinicke, and the chances he wants to take, I'm all with it. So I understand that guy's like, oh, why are we all patting Taylor Heinicke on the back when all he did was just randomly throw the ball? No, he didn't. He's doing more than you're leading on. Yes, of course we all understand Terry McLaurin is the man. Of course we give him props. But that wouldn't have happened without Taylor throwing the ball, without like him escaping and this and that. So I guess that's what I'll end the video on. Guys, don't want this to be too long. As always, hail to the Washington football team. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.